episode of Lancer Central. My name's TJ Wengert. Her name's Kiersten Freedman. And Kiersten, I'm so happy to see you not wearing a Pats jersey today.
Oh, you know, I sent it back to hibernation until football season comes back around because we are fully focused on Big South Conference basketball right now. And with that, our women's basketball team has really seen an upward trend as their season draws to a close. We've seen the last 5 games have been very close. And head coach Rebecca Tillett said that the game versus USC Upstate was really the turning point for how their team plays as a unit for their season.
Yeah, and you mentioned over those last 5 games, 4 of those 5 games decided by 6 points or less. The lone exception being that High Point game decided by 11 points, so still a relatively close game. And that game fell closer than the final score showed. But over the stretch, we've also seen Longwood get their second win on the season and first in conference play.
Yes, there was a very exciting game versus Gardner-Webb here. Dana Rouse, she broke her career high that we just spoke of last time. 34 points for her, 11 boards, 4 blocks, 2 steals. She was all over the place during that game, and 12 of the 16 overtime points came from her.
Yeah, I mean, she really carried the load, to say the least. But meanwhile, Kate Sproulin's become a nice complementary piece for this team, especially from the outside.
She shot 80% from the 3 when they traveled to Gardner-Webb, 67% from the field. That was her second game in a row that she saw double digits with 12 points.
Yeah, 12 points in both those games, might I add, and 8 made threes in those 2 contests. She had 9 coming into that, so she gets that 3-point shot to start falling, along with Dana Rouse as an inside scorer, a little bit of offensive versatility, and they're going to need it over the next 4 games, 3 of which are at home.
We see that USC Upstate comes to Longwood this evening. They're a new team to the conference, so they've got youngness. We see that we've got a new coach, so both teams are very young. Right. Upstate is running a similar strategy to Longwood, so it'll be very interesting to see how that game plays out. And then possibly, if this season continues as it has been so far, maybe when it comes to the conference tournament, Longwood would be the sleeper and maybe cause an upset. And that's really what we're looking for here.
Right, you mentioned they're trending upwards, and they've made huge strides from where we saw them at the beginning of the year under our first-year head coach, learning a new system for the players. And by Big South Conference tournament time, I think you might be right. They might be a dark horse, to say the least. But we'll transition to the men's basketball team sitting at 13-13, 3-8 in conference play. They're on a 4-game losing streak, so times have been tough as of late. But Kiersten, that last game they played against Gardner-Webb, to say they showed a lot of fight might be an underestimate.
Yeah, we saw that there were 10 lead changes. The Lancers managed to come back from a 10-point deficit in the last 2 minutes of the game, which was just crazy. We saw a buzzer beater from Lorenzo Shabuti-Phillips, that 3-point shot that sent the game into overtime. Amazing. And
talking about Shabuti, definitely not his best game of the year, and I think he would attest to that as well. But those 2 threes in the last 2 minutes of that game were just huge shots. I can't even put it into words. And one from the logo at the buzzer. I mean, for a first-year player to be as good of a leader he is and to hit that clutch of a shot right at the beginning of a tenure, it really says a lot to who he is as a person away from the court, let alone as a basketball player. But all in all, this was a team effort, right? 6 players into double-digit scoring, including 19, a new career high for Jalen Wilson.
Yes, he had 4 threes. Juan Munoz right behind him with 3. Jordan Cintron with 10 boards. It was all around a team effort. Head coach Griff Aldrich said that game was really a step forward for the Lancers.
And someone else who's really stepped up as of late, Ja'Shawn Smith has really taken over the mantle as a primary or secondary leading scorer for this team. Had 14 points against Gardner-Webb and a career high 20 points and 7 rebounds against Hampton.
He's averaging 15.7 points per game in the last 3 games, 4 rebounds, 58% from the field, and then overall this season, 51% from the field, already 10% higher than what he was last season.
So again, developing as an overall scorer, and we've been waiting for that. And now if he starts taking over him and Shabuti-Phillips, they're still those front 2 leading scorers, and Jalen Wilson might be a nice piece as well. And they're going to need him over the next 4 games. Tomorrow night they travel to High Point. That's going to be a tough defensive battle. And then on Saturday, one you got to have against USC Upstate, defend Jerome Kersey Court.
They did find the win versus High Point at home a few weeks ago, so going there, maybe we'll see the season sweep. What they really need is that road game versus Hampton. Hampton is on a 3-game losing streak right now. They're vulnerable, and that is really where the Lancers can play to their strength and use that road win to send them up just a few more spots in the ranking or in the standings. Maybe at least just 1 more is what we need in order to host our first postseason game in the D1 era at Longwood.
Yeah, of their next 4 games, if you come away with 3 of them, you're definitely in the spot to do that. But if you defend Jerome Kersey Court against USC Upstate, that's 1. And then you got to have one of those 2 road games you're playing at High Point or at Hampton. And, of course, you'd love to have the senior day win against Campbell on the 23rd. So we're excited to see what this team's potential is, especially heading into the Big South Conference tournament. For Kiersten Freedman and our entire Lancer Central crew, my name's TJ Wengert. And until next time, we are signing off.
One take.